Well, yet another 90 minutes of abject shite from Manchester United. What can you say, really? I don't know what else to say. That pretty well sums it up. I'm not going to lie to you. That pretty well sums up tonight's performance. I see a few of you already got in the comments. Cristiano Ronaldo, thanks for joining. I said I use this joke every week. We could have done with Cristiano Ronaldo tonight. He's saying he won't watch a Manchester derby because we can't win against Crystal Palace. And how do we think we can win against Man City? Man Shitty, he says, actually. I should get that right. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. With this sort of performance, there's no chance of getting anywhere close. We won't lay a glove on them, mate. We won't lay a glove on them. If I was Man City, I'd be laughing my head off at that performance, thinking, what, these guys? These guys are meant to be our challengers. Right. Give us the title. I mean, mental. Dazza has gone in with his usual honesty, brutal honesty. He says, worst performance from Bruno all season, and the whole team as well. Must perform a lot better than that. Otherwise, we'll be outside top 4 soon. Yeah, I think, we will. Bruno Fernandes again had a poor performance. You can't really let him get away with that. It was a poor performance from Bruno Fernandes. A poor performance from the whole team. Going forward, I don't think I've seen a worse Man United performance since Alex Ferguson left. I really don't. I can't remember many, although you'd have to be going back to the Louis van Gaal era. But I can't remember many. I'm not going to lie to you, I can't. Rich says you don't normally swear in your videos. Is this one? Maybe, Rich. Potentially. I think I'm going to keep this short and sweet, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm going to... I don't have the energy to run this on. Because I don't know what else to say. There's not much to be said. What is there to be said about that performance tonight? A third 0-0 draw in successive games in all competitions. Failure to score in about 4 hours of football, over 4 hours of football. It's not good enough, and I don't know what else to say. I really don't. Adam's already jumped the gun saying Ollie out. I think it's jumping the gun a little bit, but thanks for joining. Charlie's joined us. He says, weren't just poor tonight, but you aren't ready for that conversation. I am ready for that conversation. I'm a big man. I'm ready for that sort of conversation. And for me, listen, we were shit. I'm not going to sit here and say you weren't shit, but I'm not saying poor as in better than shit. I'm saying we were very, very poor as in we were dog shit, as in we were Derby County 2008 shit tonight. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. I can't say, as I said, I don't know what else to say. I don't. We were crap going forward. We didn't really have to defend too much. We kept the clean sheet. That was the only thing really that went for us tonight. Mr. Bobajango says, let him finish the season and compete for the cups and then move on good terms. Thank you, Ollie, for establishing us, for stabilising us. But we need to build on this foundation with a proper elite coach. I can see a lot of people after this game turning on Ollie, to be honest with you, and I think I have to bash Ollie a little bit for the fact that once again, in a game where we needed to change something, no changes came. And you can make the argument, what has he got on the bench? Daniel James and McTominay. And those are the 2 subs he made. But, I mean, surely bringing on one of them earlier in the game would have been better than keeping the same team that was consistently failing, let's be honest, consistently failing to make any inroads against a shocking Crystal Palace team that had no Zaha in it. This was a weak Crystal Palace team. And we've drawn 0-0. We've never lost to Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park in the Premier League era, but tonight damn well felt like a loss. It really did. For some reason, the comments are broken on this, so I can't actually see people's comments, which is a bit annoying. So we'll see if we can change that. Hopefully this does something. No, it hasn't. So I can't actually see any comments, which is brilliant. I don't know why that's the case. But keep them coming in. As I said, I'm not sure how long we're actually going to be live for. But please do keep getting your comments in. I might just have to get them up on the phone. So if you don't see a comment on the screen, I do apologise. But yeah, I mean, I was going to say, who do you think was a man of the match? No one deserves man of the match. The only person I can say is someone like Dean Henderson. At least he stepped up at the end when it mattered. He did make a big save when it mattered. So I think, the only person I can really say is Dean Henderson. But yeah, alright, I'm going to have to read them out on the phone because my comments on the actual laptop ain't working, which is annoying. Rich was saying, is Kieran okay? Yeah, I'm alright, Rich. Thanks for worrying about me. I appreciate it. But yeah, sorry, I did go live a little bit later than usual, or later than I said I was going to go live. But yeah, so we've got Rich in the chat, make sure to check out Rich Sports, great stuff on there. Jamie's joined us, he said 0-0, you did say 0-0, Jamie, fair play. I mean, probably a prediction you didn't want to come right, but, you know, fair play to you, it did. He also says, I worry for Sunday and games coming up. I think, you know, that's probably, I think all United fans worry, mate. All United fans worry, especially after that performance. To not score in, 4 hours of football? I mean, I don't understand how last season we were so ruthless, we were so good in front of goal, especially towards the end of last season. The same players are playing. In fact, you could argue we've even bolstered our attacking options. And we've gone 0-0 in 3 games in a row in all competitions. And, you know, we weren't even playing a top 6 side this time. We were playing Crystal Palace, who had lost players, had players injured. Zaha wasn't on the pitch. And to be honest with you, Crystal Palace really could have won that game in the 89th minute. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. Mr. Boba Jang says, my dad, who's in his 60s, texts me saying the worst performance he's ever seen from United. That really shows. That really shows. I mean, if he's in his 60s and he's saying that, it's pathetic. It really is pathetic, mate. As I said, it's hard to put into words how poor we were going forward tonight. It's so hard to put into words. Roberto Jaguar, RJ, how are you doing, mate? Thanks for joining. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Make sure you check out Roberto Jaguar as well. And also make sure you check out Let's Talk Premier League. I was on there last night doing some stuff. Yeah, make sure you do check that out if you haven't already. Good stuff on there. But yeah, it's not a good night. It's not a good night really to be joining. Well, any night's a good night to be joining the stream, I guess. But this is not exactly the best stream I've ever done, really, or the best mood I've been in to do a stream. Jamie says, only Shaw was half decent. It was horrible to watch. City watching tonight will be thinking easy 4-0 win. I was saying, City will be laughing. They'll be laughing at us thinking, are these guys the guys who are meant to challenge us this season? These mob out there, Rashford, Greenwood, and I'm not saying they're bad players, but tonight they were abject in front of goal. I mean, no one could trap a ball to save their lives. No creativity, none whatsoever. Palace had the best chance of the game. That summed it up for me. You know, in the 89th minute, Patrick Van-Aarnholt's running for on goal. He had the best chance of the game. Absolutely pathetic. Dazza says, how do people expect us to get a draw against Oil Money FC when we can't even play well against crap Palace team? Yeah, it's a fair point, to be honest, Daz. It's a fair point. I think, you know, if you go on this performance, I think we'll get an absolute tanning. We'll get battered. The only thing I can say is that, you know, we have kept 3 clean sheets in all competitions. That's the only positive that you can really say. But realistically, Man City are not going to mess about. They are ruthless. They are ruthless in front of goal. That Wolves game, was it yesterday? They were 1-1 and you're thinking, oh, maybe there's an upset. No, they turn on the style, 3 goals in the last 10 minutes, whatever it was. They win 4-1. That's the sort of team we're dealing with in Man City. And we think we're going to go to the Etihad and get a point. You're having a laugh. You really are having a laugh. I hope we do. I hope we do. Thanks for joining, Ethan. Appreciate it. Appreciate your comment, Ethan. He says, unlucky. I can't even respond to that right now. I can't. I don't know what I can't. I've got no. I mean, the only thing I can say is that, you know, the best, one of the best teams in the history of the Premier League or the history of the world, as some people were saying about Liverpool, are currently out. Where are they? Sixth in the league, something like that. So that's all I can say to you, Ethan. But thanks for joining anyway. RJ says, hashtag Ole out is trending at the moment. I CBA with this club, you know, our club. Exactly. I mean, look, listen. I know people are gonna be, you know, annoyed. People are gonna be frustrated. And Ole, to be fair, I will say that he should have made subs earlier. There's no way that you can be watching that game thinking, oh, I'm not gonna make a change. I'm gonna keep that same team on. Yes, Daniel James and McTominay were really the only 2 that were gonna come on. I mean, he had Diallo as well, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't have mind Diallo come on, a bit of a wild card, see what he could do. But I think Ole did make the changes too late. He made the changes too late. Kobe says Rashford's performance was as bad as Martial's against Sheffield United. I have to agree. You know, Rashford was poor tonight. Again, one of the worst performances I've seen, not just from Rashford, but from the whole front 3. Even Bruno Fernandes. Just no creativity whatsoever, honestly. And Adam says, I'm angry. I was on 96 subs. I'm on 82, so close to 100. I'm never going to reach it. Don't worry, mate. Keep going. Keep going, Adam. Keep going. As I said, YouTube's not something that happens overnight. Mate, keep going on it. Keep going. You will get there, I'm sure. Mr. Baba Django says, 2 refusals to close the gap. Unacceptable standard for United. Should never give up. Exactly. We're back to this trend of this season of, where we're back to this trend of, not taking these opportunities, and it will come back to hurt us. Last season, obviously, towards the back end of last season, we played really well, and we pretty well won every game apart from a few that we drew, and we got into 3rd place. But why do we need to put ourselves into that position where we might need to do that at the end of the season to secure top 4? Why don't we just be more consistent? It's obviously it sounds more simple than it actually is, but if we had a bit of consistency to our game, and in fact played like we did when we were top of the league, we'd be absolutely fine for top 4. But I just feel like we're slowly bottling this, and if we don't pick it up soon, you've got the likes of Liverpool, Leicester, West Ham are doing all right. These guys are going to come back into it. Chelsea. Keep the comments coming in. I'm not sure how much more live I'm going to be for. How much more I'm going to be live for, to be honest, because I don't have much to talk about. I really don't. Dazza says, yeah, but we can't even... Oh no, he says, hate to say, but United are defo banter FC at the moment. Terrible. Yeah, listen, obviously, after our last few results in all competitions, 3-0 draws, we do deserve a bit of banter, there's no doubt about it. If I was a rival fan, I'd be giving it to United fans right now, there's no question. But, I think in terms of the whole context of the season, there's not many teams that can really banter us. As RJ says, we are still ahead of 18 other teams in the league. So, you can argue that even though we are having a poor patch, we're still, in 2nd place, and we can't drop down from 2nd place this game week. But it could get a lot worse. And in this Premier League, we've seen teams go up and down like a yo. I wouldn't be surprised if it does get a little bit worse if we're not careful. I really wouldn't be surprised. Adam says, I was going to do a Rashford skills and goal compilation. I'm messing the guy not to do it. I don't know. I just feel like, it's one of those things where Rashford is a form player. He's a confidence player, like Martial. Exactly like Martial. They're both confidence players. They're both players that, when they're on form, they look electric. They look so so good. And when they're on a bit of a poor run of form, they don't add much, and they look poor. And Rashford tonight was poor. He was poor, But yeah, I think for me, he's not having his best time of it. And probably a Rashford skill compilation. You could probably still find a Rashford skills compilation for the last few months, because he loves a nutmeg. He loves a nutmeg with his Rashford. But what I would say is that the goals have dried up a little bit. But I'm hoping that he can get back into form, because a Rashford in form is one of the best players in the league. I don't care what you say. He's one of the best players in the league. Mr. Boba Django says, Ollie said we were playing a good team in Palace, and that makes you play the way you want to play. Reminds me of Moyes' comments. Yeah, the only disappointing thing about that is the fact that, Crystal Palace did have injuries. I mean, let's be right, this is not Crystal Palace's best side. They had injuries. Zaha was out, that's a big miss. He had Lindelof on toast the last time he played us, or the last time Palace played us. So they had injuries. It wasn't their full-strength side. I just felt like they were there for the taking tonight. I just felt like we could have, really, had to put a good win together ahead of that City game, going to the Etihad with just a little bit of confidence. But unfortunately, it wasn't the, it didn't really work out that way. RJ says, look, Kieran, I understand we haven't won a spot. We'll get through it. I love that spirit, RJ. I love it. I love the spirit. Look, listen. I mean, in the end of the day, we've been worse than this. Let's be honest. We have been worse than this. This isn't like, this is the worst United have been in a century. We have been a lot worse than we are right now. But that performance today is very hard to defend. It's hard to defend what went on today. Mr. Baba Django also says, oh no, I've read that one out, sorry. Adam says, listen, my thing is, why is Ole playing defensive against bloody Crystal Palace? That was the one thing. Obviously, Matic and Fred playing as the pivot, I think realistically doesn't work. I think when you play Nemanja Matic, you don't get any sort of creativity. I think Fred as well, he's not a playmaker. Even though maybe he was for Shakhtar, I just don't think he's a playmaker. So I don't know. I just feel like he wasn't really a. You just get no creativity. I mean, let's be honest. When you have Matic and Fred in midfield, there's just no creativity there. And that's why if you have Pogba in that midfield alongside Fernandes, Fernandes doesn't have the pressure to do it all on his own. And so if Fernandes has a poor game, Pogba can pick up the slack. And then vice versa. If Pogba's not having a great game, Fernandes can pick up the slack. I also think that if Pogba plays, Fernandes can occupy a much more further forward role, which means that he can get involved in the play much more, up front, which means that we're not going to have situations like tonight where we're just aimlessly passing the ball across the box without any sort of actual purpose to it. So yeah, that's my thing. But obviously you can't blame injuries. Let's be honest. You can't blame injuries on this. We should have put Crystal Palace to the sword. We really should have done. Dazza says only positive is Leicester didn't win either. Exactly. I mean, again, we kind of got away with it a little bit because if Leicester did win, we would be, 2 points off them by now? So, yeah, again, we've got away with it. But again, you could argue that we've missed out on another opportunity to gain points. So, it depends whether you're a glass half full or half empty kind of guy, I guess. Adam says, could this day get any worse? I don't know. I mean, listen, as I said, it is only a game of football. It's only a game of football. But I can understand your frustration, Adam. But to be fair, there's not much left of the day. So if this day did get any worse, it'd be bloody impressive. I'll tell you that much. Let's see. Kobe says, why does Ollie always go on a good run, then after we lose, we go on a bad run? And again, that I remember someone saying to me, that is a pattern that we're seeing. We're seeing that Ollie, when he's on a good run of form, it's dreamland. It is dreamland. But when obviously we do lose a game, we do seem to have a bit of a rough patch. And, maybe you can blame the Europa League Sunday, Thursday thing. We did look tired. We did look tired tonight. And I understand there's going to be a little bit of tiredness after playing on a Sunday. But realistically, I just feel like we could have put in a much better performance. I know the players are going to be a bit tired, but we should have played a lot better than we did. I'm sorry. Rich says, day's nearly over, Adam. Exactly. Hang in there, mate. You've only got another, 40-odd minutes to hang in there. The day can't get any worse, hopefully. Touch wood. Touch wood. Kobe says this is this exact reason why we need creativity in the pivot. If we don't get creativity in the pivot, this means Greenwood, Rashford, Bruno and Cavani get isolated with no service. Yeah, I think, we're starting to see that, especially with the 0-0 draws we've had. We're definitely starting to see that it does get, it does get... a lack of creativity when we don't have Pogba, when we don't have the same sort of creativity in the pivot. And, maybe Donny van der Beek, if he obviously was on the bench, which he wasn't even in the squad, which I was surprised by. Maybe he had an injury. You guys can let me know in the chat what was the reasoning behind that, if you know. But yeah, Van der Beek wasn't on the bench. So I don't know. I honestly do not know why that was. But I think you need a bit of creativity in there, and I think even Fred and McTominay was better than Matic and Fred. The McFred unit, I never thought I'd say this, but the McFred unit actually is better than Matic and Fred. I really do. LSR previous live joins us. Dean Henderson out here protecting our unbeaten array run. Any comments on this, Keir? I still think David De Gea is number one, mate. I thought Henderson was had a decent game. In the end of the day, he didn't have to make too many saves, but I'm not going to sit here and change my mind on Henderson or De Gea based on one game. I'm going to congratulate Henderson. I thought, to be fair, out of all the players tonight, I thought he was the only one that put in a consistently good performance over 90 minutes. So I'm going to give it to Henderson, but I'm not going to say that De Gea is still, still not number one, because he is. De Gea is still number one in my eyes. But Henderson, to be fair, this is what he needs to do. In the chances he gets, he just needs to do the best he can, and he did. I doubt he's going to be playing against City. That's all I'm going to say. Adam says, now this guy's posting hate videos about me. Oh, shit. I hope that improves, mate. I hope that improves. I mean, no one should be bullying. No one should be bullying. Cheers, RJ. Thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. Cheers. I hope you have a good evening or good rest of the day, at least. But thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. He says, De Gea wouldn't have come out for that shot. Let's be fair here. Oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe you're using this result to push the Henderson agenda. Right, I know. First of all, so we've got Harry the Hoover. Thanks for joining, Harry the Hoover. Appreciate it. It says hate vids. Well, thanks for joining, Harry the Hoover. Appreciate it. And guys, by the way, please do hit that like button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate all your support. And I know it's you, Kesa. I know it's you because you've kept your YouTube icon. So I'm not gonna read that name out because I know it's you and you're trying to catch me out again. And I'm not falling for it, mate. I'm too good. I'm not falling for it. But thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. Kobe says, if Martial had played instead of Rashford, he would have got pelters. But just because Rashford is English. Interesting point. So basically you're saying that if Martial had played, people would have hated on him a lot more. I mean, I think a lot of people are hating on Rashford right now because I'm going to say it was a shocking performance. It really was. Not one he'll want to remember. But both Rashford and Martial right now are probably as bad as each other in terms of form. So I'm not going to be the one and say that Martial's worse or Rashford's worse. They're both as bad as each other in my opinion. Harry the Hoover says, who is bullying you? Alright, no, don't worry, KSI. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. You nearly called me. But always good to see you, mate. Always good to see you. Yeah, nice try. Owen says, Pogba not being in the team has messed us up in the attacking transition. Are you Jose Mourinho with the attacking transition comment? No one wants to hear it, but it's true. Especially a certain mod on this channel. Don't see him in the comments tonight. I don't want that sort of hate, to be honest. I don't want that sort of kind of comments being thrown around willy-nilly. But to be fair, the Pogba point, I can see it. I can see what you're saying. Without the creativity in the pivot, I do see what you mean. And Daza says, I mean, he's got a point because the English press has always had a problem with our French players. Well, I mean, think about it. English press said he had no chance. English press were the ones that doubted him. Daza says, Bruno, Rashi, Fred, and Ollie got a 3 in the ratings from me. Shocking from all of them. But I think that's fair. You can't argue too much with that. You can't. I thought Ollie as well, you didn't have his best game as manager. I thought, again, changes needed to be made. So Matthew's joined us. Speak of the man himself. Owen's just called him out. He says, we have had Pogba for years and still had dreadful runs of form. No guarantees he would have changed anything, Bud. And Bud at the end there, just for good measure. So yeah, I think obviously that's the debate. Is that I think a lot of people have. Or Pogba's lost a lot of fans because of the comments his agent have made and stuff. And I think that also kind of clouds judgment a little bit. But I do also think that, there are games where Pogba's been poor. There's no doubt about that. There have games where Pogba's been poor. Kasai says, never disrespect the GOAT, Kieran, he'll shook you. Rashford, I mean, if Rashford's the GOAT, listen, I like Rashford, but you have to call a spade, mate. If he's not having a good run of form, then you have to call it out. I'm afraid he's not on a good run of form. I really want him to get back on a good run of form. I don't have any agendas. I want the players that are in bad form to get back onto good form. But I'm just saying, you have to call a spade, mate. Dada said, how is Owen a Rashford hater, KSI? He's always going to get hate because he's ball greedy and crap. That is a. I'm not sure I'd go as far as say he's crap, but what I would say is that recently he hasn't been brilliant. Owen says, I love Rashford, mate, but his end product leaves a lot to be desired. 18 goals this season. Imagine if he could finish. Yeah, true. Imagine if he can trap a ball for a start. Charlie's back. He says Greenwood or Cavani. I don't know at this point. Neither, to be honest. I thought it was going to be Greenwood or Foden there, to be honest. But Greenwood or Cavani. That's a good question. I think Cavani, to be honest with you. Greenwood hasn't been good this season, really. I think he scored 1 goal in all competitions, or maybe, what? No, actually scored like 2 or 3 goals in all competitions, something like that. But he's still 19. I'm actually older than Mason Greenwood. You probably wouldn't think that, from my youthful looks, but I'm actually older than Mason Greenwood. So, that's one thing which, it's a bit depressing, but at the same time means that he's got a lot of time. Cavani's obviously, 34, 35? He should be, he's past his peak, but he should still be at a top level. And we've seen this season that he is at the top level. So I've got to say Cavani. On that one. Mr. Bobajango says Flufford is overrated, but I still love him. Yeah, I think Rashford, to be fair, is definitely overrated by some. He's definitely overrated by some people. Kobe says, how did James miss that header? Hashtag 50p head. To be fair, I think the reason he missed the header wasn't because he had he doesn't have a slab head like Maguire, but I think it's because he's about 5'3", I think, Daniel James. So I think that's one of the reasons why I missed it. But yeah, not everyone can have a head like Maguire, mate. That's just biological fact. Dazza says, my last 3 ratings for Ole have been 5 against Sociedad, 4 against Chelsea, and 3 against Palace. That's obviously out of 10. And I thought we couldn't play any worse than we did at Stamford Bridge. But I was wrong, clearly, yeah. We've all been proven wrong, Daz. We've all been proven wrong. So yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly. I think the ratings are fair. Ole, once again, poor, really. I think, I'm Ole in. I'm Ole in. I respect Ole. I want him to do well at this club, and I think he will. But realistically, if he's not backed by the board, and if he doesn't help himself like he didn't do tonight, realistically, there should be subs being made earlier. The subs should be made earlier. How can you leave it to what, the 70-odd minute to make a sub? It's poor. That was poor. I have to call that out. Owen says, as long as Dan Lawrence is back in at 3 and 4 a.m. this morning. Right, that's a cricket reference if you guys don't know. But yeah, I'd rather talk about the cricket, to be honest. And it's not a cricket channel, but I'd rather talk about the cricket. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't put Lawrence in at 3. I'll put him in down the order about 5. But Again, I don't know how we've got onto that. I don't really know how we've got onto that. But hey, why not? If you're in the chat and into cricket, should Dan Lawrence play at 3 or should Bairstow keep his place? Let us know in the live chat. I don't know where that came from, but we're going with it. Dada says, he's only been crap recently, Charlie. Been good for most of the season. Yeah, I think, was that responding to the Greenwood or Cavani? Yeah, I think realistically, what Dada said, yeah, I think that's fair enough. As you can tell, I'm a little bit tired. We're getting towards the end. We're crawling towards the end here. Box, thanks for joining. He sums it up in one word pretty perfectly. Dreadful, but thanks for joining, Box. Appreciate it. Charlie also says, I stick by it. Ole is top 5 worst managers in the Prem. I'm not sure I'd go that far. But in terms of tactics, I think you do have to start questioning him. Substitution, tactics. But I do think in a lot of occasions his players let him down. A lot of times. I mean, tonight, for example, the players he had on the pitch, whilst he should have changed it, they let him down tonight. Rashford was shocking. Greenwood didn't offer much. Cavani didn't get in the game. And to be fair to Cavani, he was coming back off an injury, but he should have offered a lot more. And the players let him down tonight. I'm sorry, they did. But he's got to do better. Harry the Hoover says, we played crap against Palace and okay against Chelsea. Ole really needs to get a new striker or we just give up on the title. I mean, I was seeing people at the start of the season saying, oh, we don't need a striker. We got Martial. Oh, guys, we don't need a striker. Greenwood will be number 9. Bloody hell. Bloody hellfire, man. Box says Rashford is woeful. He was woeful tonight. Charlie says Bairstow at 3 reminds me of Charlie Taylor from Hardwick. Yeah, he wasn't a bad player, was he? He wasn't a bad player. Although, to be fair to Bairstow, I mean, it does remind me a little bit, because what happened to Bairstow in the last match? Didn't he get out 3 times? Or was that just my imagination? No, I'm joking, of course, I'm joking. She says, Charlie also says, your father is a better manager than Ole. At least he knows a tactic or two. Well, I mean, I couldn't possibly comment. On that. I think you're being a bit kind. I think you're being a bit kind to him, Big D. But, yeah, I think two fair comments, I can't lie. 2 fair comments. But yeah, so I guess Owen, Charlie's disagreeing. He's answering Owen's comments saying, so Owen's gone with Dan Lawrence at 3 and Charlie's gone with Bairstow. So that's going to be an interesting debate topic in the comments. But I'll go with Charlie's judgment. I mean, if you know Owen's judgment on cricket, go with Charlie's judgment. Kasai says, Kieran, when are you boxing Owen on Star Sports? I'm not boxing Owen on Star Sports. And anyway, if you want something that's going to last very slowly, or very quickly, something's going to be wrapped up quickly, it's going to be that. And I won't tell you why. Mr. Bobo Django says, Ian Bell. Unfortunately, he doesn't play for England anymore, mate. But I tell you what, on those pitches, we could do with an Ian Bell. I'm not going to lie to you. Kobe says, at least Lindelof didn't play, otherwise Eze or I probably would have had him on toast. Exactly. I mean, Bai playing for me was probably the biggest positive, but he's not going to play against City, realistically. He's going to put Lindelof back in. We all know what's coming. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. But he never learns. He never learns. Let's see what you guys are saying before we wrap this up. Box says he'd play Monty Panesar. I'll tell you what, if he was still around, still playing, he did all right last time in India. But unfortunately, he's a little bit retired as well. Yeah, it's all great shouts. I mean, if Joe Root is watching, and Rooty, we know you love Red Devil Weekly. Yeah, just, we've got a few suggestions in here. Tell Silverwood, the selectors, get on it, before you select the team. Charlie said, do you think Man United... Oh, you see, we've resorted to this sort of thing now. Oh, forgot. Right. And now K-Side's getting on the act as well. I can't believe this. Listen, I was born at night, but not last night. I'll tell you that for certain. I was born at night, but not last night. Right. Adam says, I'm not watching the City game. You can't, Adam, mate. You got to watch it. Even though we've had a few setbacks, it's about getting through the setbacks. Realistically, we could win that game. I'm going to put it out there. We could win that game. Realistically, we shouldn't really do that. But, we should... you never know. We've gone to the Ayad before when everyone thought we were going to bomb, and we've won the game. So, you never know. You actually never know. Charlie says, will you be up at 4 for the game? I actually might be. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't set an alarm, but if I wake up naturally at 4, then I'll be up. So, yeah, if I am up, then, I'll see the boys probably be, 20 for 5 at lunch? Wouldn't be surprised. But, yeah, to be fair, I probably will be, or there or thereabouts. I'm not sure it'll be 4 on the dot, to be honest. But I don't have anything tomorrow anyway in terms of university, so might have to be a bit of early cricket watching. To be fair, with my course, I had to bloody report on it, so I was up at 4 a.m. not just kind of watching it, but I had to, write an actual match report. I mean, that is slavery. Mr. Papa Django says, Kieran, it's right not to be Ollie out at this moment, but if this continues, do you really think he deserves another year? I think if this continues, then it'd be very, very concerning. Do I think it's all Ollie's fault? No, I don't think it's all Ollie's fault. But for me, the one thing I'm worried about is that if we sack another manager, is that not another admission saying, the board have got away with it again? Realistically, the board would have got away with it. Simple as that. And I feel like Ollie is the guy that we need to back. It seems like we got the best out of the players earlier on in the season, and I think with quality players, with genuine quality players, we could go somewhere. But right now, with the squad we've got, it's going to look difficult. Let's see. Dad says, happy birthday for the week, lads. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Adam says, Owen or Kieran, help. I got into a fight. One of you back me up. I'm not the fighting type, to be honest with you, mate. I'm not the fighting type, but good luck with it. Good luck. I would just say, don't get into fights. Don't get into fights. Be a lover, not a fighter. I've seen a few people trying to bait me again. Listen, you can try all you want. But it ain't going to work. Try it on another stream. But trust me, I'm too smart for that sort of thing. Anyway, Hugh Janis is starting at... Oh, for fuck's sake. Hugh Janis is starting at 2, says Box. Cheers for that, mate. Right. Okay, on that note, I reckon... Actually, you know what? I'll answer Charlie's question and we'll leave it. Because I don't want to leave on that sort of schmutz. On that sort of... I can't believe I got done. Anyway, he says, I think he should seriously look into picking up Rio as a defensive coach. He has great potential. I think he does. I think obviously, Rio is someone who knows how to defend. I mean, he likes talking about it on his podcast and on BT Sport. So it would be nice to see whether he could put his money where his mouth is. But I don't see him, to be honest. I don't see it. Does says her name is Rio and she dances on the... Oh, of course, a bit of... I don't even know the band anymore. It's late. It's too late. It's freaking 11:38, so I'm going to end it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. Please hit that like button if you aren't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll tell you what, if we play like that against City, there might not be a match review. There might not be one. But anyway, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate you all watching at this late time. But thanks for watching. and I'll see you for the next one. But until then, have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you in a bit.